Okay, getting going. Standing up. We're going to start with wide feet. So feet slightly turned out, as wide as you like. So they just need to, your feet just need to be wider than your shoulders. We are going for wide. Wider is better, but there is a limit. You know, we're not trying to do the splits. So maybe just go to where you're comfortably wide and then go a weeny bit wider, and then that's all. Okay, and we're just going to take our weight forward and back first of all, so you can really feel with your feet wide like this, the weight change on your feet. And you might also find that you are, it's easier to feel if you favor your feet on the outside edge or the inside edge with your feet like this. We've kind of just got a bit more awareness of our feet. So try and plant your feet equally into the floor. And you also want to take the same weight on both feet. So try not to have more weight on one side than the other. So then we're going to settle our weight so it's equal front to back on our feet. So you've got lots of weight on your heels and your toes aren't gripping the floor. And then just give your shoulders a roll. And as you roll your shoulders, you're going to breathe in and out. So we'll breathe in for one roll and then out for the next one. You're breathing in through your nose and then breathe out through your nose or your mouth, but really we're not out of breath enough to breathe out through our mouth. Unless you run here like I just did. Okay, and then let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Put your hands on your bottom ribs, so in your side, so like you're doing like grumpy hands on your waist. We're going higher. And then breathe and try and send your breath to expand your hands. So your rib cage widens and contracts, but we're trying to do lateral side breath. So your ribs go in and out at the side and your waist goes in and out at the side as you breathe. And if you can see yourself in the screen, then you don't want your shoulders to be going up and down at all as you breathe. Or really your upper chest. Okay, let's let our arms drop to the side. And then we're going to turn our feet just slightly at 45 degrees over to one direction. So I'm going this way. And keep your hips back and your ribs down, but then put your hand on the hip, that's your back hip. So your feet are pointing in the opposite direction. And we're just going to start to push your hip into that hand. So I'm just doing it like a jaunty little push out of that hip without my knees bending. So you'll feel a stretch on the inside of the, kind of like the front leg, but keep leading from that hip. So what you want is that hip to be able to switch on. So that's all the glute muscles, the side glutes and the main glutes. And so we want to keep this going, leading from that hip. We're going to start to run the other hand down the inside of the front thigh. So I've just got the back of my hand on the thigh, but we're still leading from this hip. If you can add on more and you're not losing the fact that you're leading from the hip, then you reach the other arm up and then you can go even deeper. It's still pushing that hip out to the side, and you'll feel how that hip mobility depends on your inner thigh mobility. So if you were too tight or even too loose in your inner thighs, the outer hip can't activate. Okay, let's just do one more of these, and then let's come up. Hands on your hips. Now let's turn your feet even more in that direction, or not feet, but one foot. So I'm turning that foot out, so it's pointing directly out to my side, and the other foot I'm just going to bring to point forward. So I'm actually turning it back again. So my feet are perpendicular, hands on your hip, and try turning your pelvis one way and then the other. And you'll find you'll turn a lot towards that, call it the front leg, and not much towards the other. We're going to go as much as you can to face your hips forward. So just whatever maximum is with this leg straight and that foot flat. And then bend this knee. And just have a little check, especially if you've got issues with this knee or ankle, check that the knee is going straight over the foot. and then push through the heel of that foot to bring it back up. So you should be able to feel the back of this leg, the hamstring, pushing you up. It connects to the glute. So actually you want to feel that kind of whole bum area. Doesn't matter how much this knee is bending, but you want to kind of try and keep it smooth. So if you've got a bit of a wobble in that knee or foot, then you limit how much you bend your knee so that that is nice and smooth. Okay, we're going to now straighten this front leg, keep the foot flat on the floor, and then bend this other leg. So it's like you're trying to pull the ground in with that foot. You'll feel this as a stretch in that inner thigh again. And then straighten it. Whoop, didn't commit to keep this one straight. So bend and straighten the back leg. Front leg stays straight. And here we want to send our hips directly away from that foot. And sort of imbalance in that inner thigh area means you might feel that it doesn't really know where it's going, that hip. Let's just do one more, fewer of those. And then let's straighten both legs and then bend the front knee again. It's covering the foot. Arms are going to go out wide. Stretch your fingers away from each other. So you're just trying to split your shoulders in half, split yourself in half through the middle, and lift your shoulders and then drop your shoulders. Okay, this back arm, I've decided this is the back, is going to come towards the other one. And then it's going to go out wide again. Take a breath in, breathe out. Bring it in as close as you can to the other one. This one's not moving. Take it back out. Again. As we're twisting, keep thinking of that foot. The toes shouldn't be gripping the floor, and you need to keep weight on your heels. If you're finding you're going slightly tiptoey and the heel is lightening, then you're trying not to use the back line of your body because you like using quads. So just try pushing the heel right in. These quads, they do work, but they shouldn't do more work than the glutes, and they quite often do. So we're breathing, and then we're going to stay in the twist. So both arms reaching over this front leg, and now let's swivel the back heel up. So immediately we'll go less balanced, so get all wobbly, because now we've lost that triangle support. Toe heel are all in line. If you need to hold on to something, just hold on to something. Drop your ribs down. Front knee is bent. Arms are in front of you. We're going to push the back heel back down towards the floor and then come up onto a tiptoe. Push it down. As you push that heel down, it's going to help that back leg to straighten. So I can see mine's not straight, but I'm trying to get it as straight as it can go. So it doesn't matter if it's straight, but it's on maximum straightness. Now let's push that back heel right down towards the floor. You're going to feel like a kind of turning out of that back leg. There's a big stretch here in the upper groin area of the back leg. Whew, and I'm falling over. Okay, now let's try straightening and bending your front knee. Use the heel. So you've got weight in the front of your foot too, but you're pushing into the back heel to get yourself to lift and lower. So just tell that back line of your body to work. And let's stay with a bent front knee. It's covering your front foot as much as possible. I'm just going to turn around. Where you shouldn't be feeling this is in the inner thigh of the back leg and all this hip area of the front leg. So arms are forward. Let's put our fingertips together. Make sure your ribs are dropped down here. So you haven't got your hip ribs lifted. You haven't got like compression in your low spine. So your ribs are dropped. Chin is tucked in. Take a breath in, breathe out, and then bring your hands to chop your front hip off. So you've twisted your ribs round. Breathe in, hands reach forward. Breathe out, chop. Breathe in and breathe out. Try and make your exhales longer than your inhale, so the chopping off is longer than getting ready to chop off. Keep pressing that back heel back. Keep pushing into your front heel. You shouldn't feel this in your back, so ribs are dropped if you do. And you should really feel this in this whole hip area. Let's do one more hip chop. Good, arms reach forward. Let's flip our legs round again. I'll just turn round. And you might have found you're going into a wider V, so you can bring your legs closer together. So we did a small switch on of this hip, and then we did a really big one of this one. So now we're going to do the other direction. So now we're going to turn our feet so they're just slanting over this way. They're not directly pointing out to the side. We're 45 degrees, both of them. Doesn't really matter about the angle. Hand on the hip that should feel a bit warm after that last one. And we're doing that push out to the side. So we're just giving it an instruction to pop out, because it should. So when you bend your knee when you're walking, your knee should track over your foot, your hip should do a little pop out to the side, not like a catwalk model, just a small pop out to the side while all those hip muscles switch on. Right, opposite hand is going to run down the inside of the other thigh. Don't be tempted to bend your knees here. This movement is still led from this hip moving out. That happens to bring your hand down. If you can add on more, we're reaching up with the other arm. And it's called a windmill. Well, I call it a windmill hip activation. I have no idea if it's actually called that. It is a windmill, but that's what I call it. So keep pushing that hip out. These are really fantastic, all these kind of lunges to connect the hip to the ankle so that the knee works well. The cues really matter. Okay, let's make this one the last one. Reaching down, reaching up, hip popping out. Good, now let's come up and turn our feet so they're perpendicular. So you might need to turn that back foot out, turn that front foot so it's directly out to the side, hands on your hips, and see how much hip turn you get. And then turn so your pelvis faces the direction of your back foot, hip bones pointing straight away. And then we bend and straighten this leg without your pelvis turning, without your knee wavering. So you will need to have a look at it, see it's doing the right thing. How much it bends is way less important by how it bends and where it directs to. Keep your weight pushing into that heel to take you down and take you up. Make sure your ribs are down. Your hips will be back if you're pushing into that heel. You've got your hips in line with that heel. Go slower if it feels like it's difficult to control the wobbling of the knee. Okay, let's stay with this leg straight, and we're going to bend the back knee. So as if you're trying to pull the floor in with that front foot, straighten it and bend it. It's not a very big move. It's a big adductor wake up. And these need to work well for these to work well. So outer hips and inner hips are like symbiotic. Okay, now let's bend that front knee again. It's tracking over the foot. Arms go out wide. Reach your hands away from each other. Take a big breath. Lift your shoulders up. Breathe out. Sink them right down. Keep that back leg straight. Keep that front knee bent, pushing into the heel. Take a breath in again. Breathe out. Bring that back arm to try and reach so your hands are together. Don't worry if they're not actually together. And we're breathing out, opening. Breathing out. Twist. Also try and get your arms to be the same length while they come together. So you're reaching this back arm forward. Don't let your shoulders lift up. Check your legs, back leg straight, pushing into the heel, front leg pushing into the knee, heel, not knee. Okay, let's do one more after this one. They feel a bit faster. We're going to stay in the twist now. Hands reaching over that knee. Swivel your back heel up. You'll immediately have a wobble, most probably. Line up, toe heel, not in line with each other, but they're parallel to each other. And we're going to push that back heel back. Your front knee can be a bit bent or straight, doesn't matter. We're just trying to really work through this back leg. So the back heel pushes down, hard down towards the floor. Ideally, if your toe and heel are in line of that back foot, when you push your heel down next and hold it there, it should feel like the leg is twisting out. It feels like the knee's turning out and the heel's turning in. That's ideal. And you've got that stretch there in the front of that thigh and the inside of the thigh and a bit of the front. Okay, ribs are down, hands are in front of you. We're straightening and bending that front knee. Pushing through the heel and feeling all the back line of that leg connect up. Let's stay with a bent front knee. It should be just covering the foot. Back heel pushing back behind you. Ribs are dropped down. Take a breath in. Breathe out and turn so that your fingertips chop off that front hip. Breathe in, reach your hands forward. Breathe out, hip chop. Breathe in, forward. Breathe out, chop. As you twist round towards that front hip, you should feel that hip firing a little bit more. It should be on all the time. It feels like it's slightly off to the side. And as you twist your ribs towards it, there's more. Keep that back heel pushing back behind you. So in the back leg, we've got all the hip flexors stretching, but more than that, we have the psoas stretching, which connects your low back to your pelvis, your thigh, to your hip flexing. So ribs need to be dropped down, heel push back to stretch that. Okay, let's make this next one the last chop. And then reach your arms forward. And then let's flip our feet round again. Oh, should feel that a lot. We're going to walk our feet so they're slightly closer. Still back wider than your shoulders, but maybe now we're not doing splits so much. Turn your feet so they face forward. So your feet are parallel, which means that when you look at them, they look slightly turned in. They look slightly pigeon-toed. Hands go on your hips. Drop your ribs down and tuck your chin in. Take a breath in, breathe out, and push your hips back behind you. Breathe in, bring your hips forward. Breathe out. Both hands, send your hip bones back, send your sit bones back. So it bends me forward and hinges at the hip. There's no movement in your spine at all. Your ribs stay tucked in and your chin stays tucked in. And you're trying to lift the crown of your head away from your pelvis. You're trying to get really long. Just notice here whether you're favoring one foot more than the other, because then you're favoring one hip more than the other. Okay, we're going to stay in the hinge. So you send your hips back. Take your arms in front of you, interlace your fingers, turn your palms inside out, and push your palms away, sending your hips even further back. Try and keep your ribs tucked in as you do this. Press your hands away. Breathe here. If it's bothering your back, you bring your hands back down to your hips, you hinge less. Okay, let's drop our hands. Drop your spine, dropping your head down towards the floor. And just hang here, legs straight. Okay, bend your knees so your fingertips find the floor. Try and have your fingertips in between both feet, but if they're further forward, you might find that easier. You might not be able to get your hands on the floor without them being further forward. That's fine. And we're going to lift our hips and drop them. Lift and drop, bending and straightening both legs. So you're breathing as you do this. Try and keep your feet parallel. Okay, next time your knees are bent, stay down low. Don't let your feet turn out and just get your hips as low as they can go. You might be right down in a crouch. You might not be at all. So the limits to this are in your ankle and also in your hips. And you might find that as you hang here, your hips start to sink down. Okay, we're going to do some walking forward. So I'm just going to walk backwards so that I've got some space in front of me. So you might need to as well. Problem with Pilates, takes up a lot of room, or at least my style does. I don't know what it is. Okay, and then we're going to walk forward so that we're going to come all the way forward into a plank position. All your knees can be down. So you go into plank, and when you're in plank, your knees come down to the floor. You need your ribs lifted away from the floor, and you need your shoulders down away from your ears, and your breathing is important. So we're going to walk back. So we're back into that crouch position, heels on the floor, and you take a breath in. And then start your breath out and walk your hands forward. If you run out of breath, you stop, you breathe in. We hold it here, ribs lifted, hands pushing into the floor. You breathe in and you start exhaling, and you walk your hands back into that crouch position. So we'll do 4-ish more. Yours may be slower, they may be quicker. You're trying to slow this down, but your breath will dictate that. You also might feel that you'd rather not do many more, in which case there are lower versions. I'll just show you. You bring your knees down to the floor so you're in half plank. Take a breath here, breathe out, push your bottom back towards your heels. You can bring your hands in if you want, and then back here into half plank. Breathing in as you hold, ribs really supported. Breathe out, coming out. Breathe in, exhale as you move. So if you're doing full, you've probably done 4 now. Let's do 1 more. And we're going to finish up in plank position, half or full. Then bring your knees down to the floor, flatten your feet and sit back. Bring your head down towards your floor. Have a little rest here. You might bring your hands down to your feet, so you're stretching less in your shoulders. And just take a few really good breaths that expand your sides. So lateral breathing. Okay. Good. And then let's come up to kneeling. So if you want a cushion underneath your knees, you can use your towel now. But up, toes tucked under, kneeling with your knees wider than hip width and your feet as wide as your knees. So ways you can make this easier is you can cushion your knees, as I said, or you can flatten your feet. But if you can manage some like this, then do, but it depends on your knees. Okay, bring your hips forward. So your hips are over your knees. Drop your ribs down. So super important. Pelvis position is important. Rib position is arguably a little bit more important. So let's go for that first. And then we're aiming for neutral pelvis. Okay, arms out in front of you. Chin tucked in. Take a breath in. Breathe out, reach back with one hand towards the heel. You might be able to actually get hold of the heel, depends if your toes are tucked under or not. Breathe in, reach forward, back up. Again, breathe out, reach back, left hand to left heel or the other one. Breathe in, breathe out, reach forward. Okay, we're adding on. So if you can, you're going to reach back to a heel and then the other arm is going to reach up to the ceiling. You're pushing both hip bones equally, but your ribs stay tucked down. Look up at that top hand. Take a big breath in. Reach your hand forward. Someone's pulling you out of it. You come up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Back to the other heel. Reach up. Check your hip bone. So you'll want to go into a twist. Try and keep your hips pressing equally forward. And then there's a rescue. And we're going to do one more each side. Okay, and you're rescued. And you bring your bottom down and let's lie on our front. So you can use a towel underneath your forehead so that you've got space between your face and the floor. If you do, it needs to be really thin. It is only for aesthetic purposes though, so you don't really need that. If you are in any doubt about whether you can lie on your front without your low back feeling really compressed and arched, then you roll your towel up, you put that underneath your bottom rib. So I will put mine under my bottom rib and then you lie face down on the floor, chin tucked in. Take your arms down by your sides. Your pubic bone should touch the floor. So have a little shuffle on your towel or put the towel under if you haven't already. If you can't get contact there with your pubic bone in the floor, ideally it should be pubic bone, it might be hip bones. So ribs should feel tucked in. Turn your palms towards your thighs and reach your fingertips right down towards your feet. So you're really shooting your shoulders down away from your ears. Make your hands into kind of chopper grip, so you've got rigid hands so that everything's all switched on. And then lift your arms as high as they can go. Palms still facing each other, fingers still shooting down towards your feet. Breathe here. And if you're really, really reaching, you'll feel a lightening of your forehead off the floor. You can actually go with that lightening and lift your forehead off, but the lift comes from your fingertips. So as you stretch away, and you might get that lifting up, but you're not actually lifting your head off, if you know what I mean. So keep reaching. Lift your arms as high as they can go. Keep reaching. And we'll do one more breath. Okay, and then let's bring your forehead down and your arms down. So you should feel like that comes from somewhere in your mid to upper back, so whatever made that happen, not low back. Okay, arms are going to go straight out to the sides now. So I'm going to come off the floor, but pretend I'm still facing the floor. Your arms are going to come out to shoulder level, palms curled up in fists with your thumbs sticking out, Fonzie style. Turn your thumbs up towards the ceiling. So the curl of your fingers is on the floor. Drive your shoulders right down away from your ears. Important that they keep there. Breathe here. Check your pubic bone is down. Check your ribs are tucked in. Chin is tucked in. On your next exhale, you're going to push your thumbs up towards the ceiling so you get a lift of your arms off the floor. Check ribs stay down, check chin stays tucked in. Breathe here, pushing your thumbs up. Check your shoulders are right down away from your ears. You'll feel here that more of your upper back is involved trying to get your arms up, and it'll be fighting with the tightness of your chest. Keep reaching. Notice if your arms are trying to spin, try and keep your thumbs facing right up towards the ceiling. Good, let's do one more breath. And then bring your arms down. Notice what's relaxing. If it's your low back, then you want to concentrate on keeping it out of there by keeping your ribs tucked in. Okay, next one, arms are up overhead. So you're the Y of YMCA. Your palms are in a chopper grip again, thumbs tucked in, fingers tucked in together. Reach your hands right up overhead, so you're trying to get a really long Y, but then bring your shoulders down away from your ears. So you're still long, but not with your shoulder blades lifted. Then we're going to lift our arms off the floor. So both arms are stretching away, but lifting. If you found the other ones okay, it's likely you won't find this one okay. I mean, you might be all right with the others, but not this. This is actually using your mid-back, your lower traps. Don't worry if it's too much. Forehead should be down, pubic bone on the floor. Reach your fingertips away, keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. It's a kind of push me, pull you. Shoulders are winning. Keep breathing. Okay, and then let's lower our arms down. Hands underneath your shoulders. Push up, sit your hips back. Let's take a couple of breaths here with a rounded spine. And then we'll come into all fours. So even though they were arm movements, they're actually thoracic spine, connection to shoulder movements. So this next one is similar. We're going to do rhomboid push-ups. And rhomboid push-ups work the rhomboids between your shoulder blades, and keep your shoulder blades tucked in towards your spine. And also these muscles here, serratus, they are rib cage muscles. So they keep your ribs attached to the rest of your body, like keep your ribs tucked in. So palms are in front of you, fingers spread out. No air underneath your palms. You're going to tuck your chin in and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. We want to go to a neutral pelvis. So let's tuck and untuck our pelvis so we can lose what we're stuck into and just go to all the range of your movement. And then we're going to go to tailbones slightly lifted. So that might feel that you're tucking under if you've got a very arched low back, or if you've got a very scooped low back, you're trying to stick your tailbone up. So you're going for a little dip in your low back. You could put like a tablespoonful of water there and it would hold it. Ribs need to be lifted up away from the floor. Elbows are straight, and you're going to turn your arms so that your elbow pits face forward. So you go from this position, hang on, where's the camera? Oh yeah, to this position. So elbows sticking out to the side, elbows pointing towards my thighs. Hope that's obvious. Okay, and then we're lowering our chest towards the floor by your shoulder blades coming towards each other, and then lifting up. Shoulder blades go apart. Lower and lift. Elbows don't bend, bottom doesn't move forward or backwards. Keep checking all your fingers are connecting to the floor and your palms. Keep breathing. If you can't find this muscle, then do it without the floor and without your body weight. This is an important part of being in all fours or plank or any quadruped position. Okay, let's now stay with your shoulder blades well away from your spine. Still got your elbows turned in towards your thighs. Tuck your chin in, make sure your shoulders are down away from your ears. Breathe in and breathe out as you bring your elbows down towards the floor. And then breathe in, come up. In fact, ideally, you're doing the whole thing on an exhale, thinking about it. So you should breathe in, breathe out. That would be ideal. So you're bringing your elbows down to a hover off the floor and then bringing them back in. Keep your arms parallel. So keep your elbows tucked right in, even if that means that you lift less high. Just going to take my jumper off. Mike back in the room. So it's not about how low down you go, but about all the other cues staying in place. Make sure your rib cage is really lifted. You just go down less low if things are going awry. Okay, let's do 3 more. Concentrating on keeping your elbows in, chin tucked, and ribs high. Make sure your bottom doesn't go backwards and forwards. Your bottom stays still. Just the levering of your upper body. You're using your triceps here, and they might not be used to working. We're kind of quite not great at getting our triceps working. We use the front of our arms a bit too much. Last one, stay at a hover off the floor. Chin tucked, ribs lifted, palms spread out on the floor. Last breath. And then let's come up. That's quite difficult. Okay, we're going to go onto our side now, come off our shoulders. So we're going to use the towel underneath our head, or you can use your bottom arm underneath your head, or you can use both. So we're going to have a towel. So you're kind of imagining it's like a Pilates block. So quite high up with your arms in front of you, palms facing each other. You can just curl your bottom arm underneath and not use your bottom arm if you want to. Okay, let's bring your bottom hip back so your hips stack on top of each other. Your knees should be on top of each other, but if you check your pelvis is sideways, then everything else looks after itself. Ribs are tucked in, bottom hand on the floor or on top of the other arm. Lift your top leg up, stretch your top leg out, push the heel away so your foot is slightly flexed. Doesn't need to be really rigidly flexed, but when you just do a slight push of your foot away, a heel away, you'll feel the back of your leg get longer, and that's what we're after. And then imagine someone's pulling that foot, and you'll see, so here's me starting, my waistband is here, and as they pull that foot away, I go into a slant here because this side of my pelvis is shooting away, and my waist has now got a big gap away from the floor. Now let's circle our leg there. Your circles should be as large and as fast as you can without that bottom leg shifting. So if you feel it lightening and doing a little jump at the knee, you circle less so it doesn't, and you're also pushing this bottom leg into the floor so it doesn't. So you'll find your circles probably get slower and smaller as you go along. So keep breathing. You're going to feel it shooting into that hip soon. The more you're pushing that leg away, the more it will feel like it is. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we're going to go round in the other direction. Good, keep going, pushing that heel away. Good, if it gets too much, then you can make things go like more soggy by letting your hip come in, by softening that foot, but try and keep going. Once it starts like dagger sticking into your hip, it doesn't get any better. It just gets worse and worse. Don't let that bottom leg jump up and down. Okay, should be feeling it now, probably a lot. Okay, let's bend your knee and bring your top leg on top of your bottom leg. You can give your hip a thump, rub. And then bring your hands on top of each other again. Try and take your shoulders down away from your ears. Your bottom shoulder can't because it's stuck on the floor, but top shoulder can. So legs are going to stay stuck together and stuck to the floor. We're going to reach your top hand forward. So your top arm gets longer, longer, longer than your bottom arm. And then reach your fingertips up off the floor and then up towards the ceiling. Keep reaching that arm up and start to take that arm back behind you. But the whole time you're reaching up. So let's come forward, so got some space. If you find that your top shoulder gets right near the floor, then all you need to do is bring your bottom shoulder back and it won't. So what we want is to not cheat the stretch. We're twisting our rib cage as far as it can go. Your hips will try and follow, so don't let your knees move. And you'll try to actually turn your upper body, which is not the same thing. So try and keep your shoulders stuck on the floor. Keep reaching away behind you with your fingers. Take a breath in here, breathe out, reaching right up. We're going to bring that arm in. Okay, 2 more. Arm gets longer, reach it up. Exhale, go into your maximum twist. It'll be a bit faster because I did too much chatting on that one. Take a big breath here. You can look at your hands. Your neck can also twist. And then breathe out. We're going to bring that arm in. We're going to hold this last one. So arm gets longer, reach up, take it up, 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 take it back, back, back. Hold it here. Your ribs should still be tucked. You're breathing, lateral breath, which contributes to the stretch. Turn your thumb towards the floor so you feel it in your pecs. And just know that while you're stretching your abs like this, they're able to get stronger. So you're increasing your core strength. And also rib mobility and upper back mobility also increases your core strength. Okay, last breath. And then bring that arm up again and back over towards the other. And we're going to roll over onto our back. So towel underneath your head, chin tucked in. Rib cage drops towards the floor. Put your feet together and your knees together. And put one hand on your tummy and one hand on your rib cage. They're going to stay still. We're going to let your knees drop over to one side. Bottom hand going into a slight tilt, top hand staying still. That's what more like it. And then knees go over to the other side. So using that same twist, but now upper body stays still and your pelvis can move. So we'll just do a couple more of these. Okay, and then let's stay. After this one, with both hands flat again, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Widen your feet so they're hip width apart. Let's drop our bottom rib down towards the floor. So your bra strap touches the floor. And then tilt your pelvis each way, one way and then the other. So your hand on your lower tummy now is tilting towards you and away. Trying to keep your upper hand still. So we're going to our best neutral spine. So we're trying to have our hand on our pelvis flat towards the ceiling, parallel to the floor, and the hand on your ribs also flat, so your bottom rib is right down. Okay, then let's bring both hands onto our lower tummy. Breathe here, lateral breath. You're trying to move your rib cage out to the sides, move your waist out to the side. And on your next exhale, we're going to lift your left leg up into a tabletop position. Keep your right knee vertical. Keep your right foot light. We're going to circle your left knee on the ceiling. So you imagine a pencil sticking out of the knee. And there's no movement in your right hip. And there's no movement between your right side of your pelvis and the floor. Much more difficult to do than it looks. It looks like nothing. It's actually, I think, a very, very tricky exercise. Use your breath to keep your ribs centered, to keep your pelvis centered, which is in effect core strength. Okay, let's go around in the other direction. There's a lot more to these than you think. So just try and use your breath to make this leg work without everything else tensing or joining in. Okay, last circle. And then let's stretch your left leg up to the ceiling. We're going to put your left hand behind your head, right arm up to the ceiling. Take a big breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to reach your right fingers up towards your left little toe. Breathe in lower. So you're going to lift and you're going to twist. Breathing out to lift up. Your leg stays still, so it's not coming towards you. You're lifting your chest up towards it. If it's too much to keep this left leg straight, then just bend it, pretend your foot is up there. Okay, let's do one more. Reach up, twist. Lower down. Okay, hands back onto your tummy, foot down. Take a breath in. Breathe out, right leg up into tabletop. Check your ribs are down, check your pelvis is flat. Breathe and start circling your right knee, left foot staying still, left hip staying still, left low back connection staying still. Good breathing here will help your pelvis stay still. So you're breathing into your sides and into your lower abdomen, breathing into your pelvis. Remember, you're always trying to make your exhale last. Let's go around in the other direction. And your hands on your stomach should feel, yes, a bit of tension, especially when the knee goes away, but not a coning of your abdominals. So your middle abdominals, your ones going down your tummy, stay down. You'll feel the difference if they're pushing up. They'll push up really hard from your bottom rib all the way down to your belly button. Okay, last circle. Right leg up towards the ceiling. Right arm behind your head, left arm up. Take a big breath. Breathe out, lift up, lift across. Breathe in lower. Breathe out. Lift. So make sure you're going up and then across. No extra weight in your left foot as you're doing this. Let's do 2 more. Okay, let's lower down. Bring both knees into your chest, hands on your knees, and have a roll from side to side. Put your left foot down, right ankle over your left knee. Bring your left knee in. You're holding behind the back of your left thigh. Tuck your chin. So we're in a figure of 4 stretch. Left foot, left knee, heading towards your left shoulder. So all in line. Right knee pushing out. Have a little rock from left to right. Still in the stretch. Okay, let's swap. Left ankle on your right knee, holding behind your right thigh. So line up, right leg with your right shoulder, left knee turned out. You can also push your left, which leg is it? Right heel away. So you've got action going through that heel. You'll feel more of a stretch as you do that. Chin tucked in. And then you can roll side to side once you've got all of those things happening. You can feel a stretch over your left hip. Whew, must do the leg thing. What's happened to the time? It's like they're time warps, these. Okay, let's let that go. We need to do the other side. Leg circles. It's like the second hand, just start bouncing along. Okay, so you could just turn over or you flipped over. Stack your hips, so your back hip is underneath your top hip. Knees are bent, arms in front of you, hands on top of each other. And tuck your chin in. Stretch your top leg out. Push the heel away a bit. And then really stretch that top leg out. That's going to switch on way more hip so that it's not an up and down of your waist, but we're driving all the work into this outer hip. Now let's circle. So your aim is to keep your mind on your bottom leg, keeping your bottom leg in good contact from the foot all the way to the hip. Any change in that contact at all is not what we're after. So make your circles suit that. Keep that heel pushing away of your top leg. Keep your circles as large as you can manage and as fast as you can manage, but that's dictated by the stability of your bottom layer. So these just start to dig into your outer hip, but keep going as long as you can. Make sure you're breathing. You can probably hear my very loud breath. So when you're exerting, doing lots of work, your breath should go out through your mouth and it will need to do that whistle sound. So either a or a, some people do a hissing. Okay, round the other way. Both of those are good because you're making your intra-abdominal pressure maximize, which is core strength, which we're using here. You're always using, unless you're asleep. Okay, keep going. Oh, it's really getting into my hip. Keep going if you can. See a lot of stillness there. I'm feeling the same. Okay, just let's do a few more. If you're still moving, oh, that's the other direction. Oh, so once these get in, okay, let's bend your knee. Give your hip a rub. Hooch. Okay, we'll do the twists. So hands on top of each other, shoulders slide down away from your ears. Let's reach your top arm out. It gets longer than your bottom arm. Start to take that arm up. You're always reaching your fingertips away. So we're trying to get really long through the chest here to instruct this pec to stretch. If your shoulder is in and everything's floppy, it won't. Big breath in here, breathe out, still reaching, reaching, reaching. We're bringing that arm in. Straighten, stretch your arm right out, reach up, reach up, reach up. Reach over. Remember, if you're really looking really dramatic with your shoulders touching the floor, then you bring your top shoulder in underneath on the floor and it will set that. And then we're going to hold this last one. So, arm gets longer, reach up, reach back, turn your head, keep reaching your fingertips away, turn your thumb to the floor. We'll do this again on Friday with a bit more, with a variety. So we'll do a bit of a variation on it. So breathe here into your side. You'll be stretching that pec more with that inhale. Okay, let's bring that arm in and through and down. And then let's come up to kneeling. Okay, we're going to do a frog stretch to stretch your inner thighs and stretch your hips. So you're going to widen your knees really wide. Bring the inside of your knees onto the floor and the inside of your feet. Then bring your elbows down to the floor. The further your elbows are away from your hips, the less you'll stretch, less, not more. So we're going to pelvic tilt here. And then stay with your tailbone lifted. That'll give you probably all the stretch you need, but if you can manage more, you're going to push your hips back between your heels. When I say push, I mean just like a slight nudge to keep this feeling okay, to keep it feeling vaguely comfortable. And we're breathing here, driving your breath down into your pelvis. Imagining as you breathe in, softening of your pelvic floor. And as you breathe out, and you evacuate from the pelvis up, a natural tensioning of your pelvic floor. One more breath. And then bring your body forward, bring your feet in, come onto your hands and bring your knees in. Woo. We're going to stand up if you feel that you can actually even find your hips. Up to a high kneeling position. Give your shoulders a roll while our inner thighs find blood flow again. Okay, so then we're going to come up to a standing position. We're going to do that by stepping a foot forward. So I would just habitually always put my left foot forward. So I'm going to go with my right. So try and go with the one you'd rather not go with. So that foot is forward. And then you want to get as much weight as you can onto your front foot. So you're going to tilt forward to do that. You're just hinging at the hip. Push into that front foot and hover your back knee off. So know that you can get down to this point using all the muscles of your legs and hips. And then let's come up from there. Step your back foot in. feet to hip width. Give your shoulders a roll again. And then reach your fingers down your sides. Let your head drop over to one ear. Tuck your chin in. Breathe here, keeping your fingers reaching down to your feet so your shoulders don't lift. Roll your chin to your chest, ear over to the other shoulder, head drops over the other way. Breathe here, shoulders not moving. And then bring your head up to center, arms up in the air. Take a big breath in, reach up, and then breathe out, dropping over your legs. Rolling up, reach up, breathe in, stretch, and breathe out, drop down.